Sunday. And here I am at Lacage Story II. The latest bill that I've gotten is for my farms, for Mansell Farms, and this year is my elevator system. Each one goes to the goes up to their floor, and from the second floor you go to the third floor, for all the way up to the roof. Here on the first floor is going to have some different, maybe some of the flower stuff like that. There's the little trees. As much as it's for the farms, it's also more for looks. I just last night, I just built a tree farm over here off of JC Plays, and so it was right there. Yeah, and so this year we'll have other farms for stuff from the Nether, as well as the red stuff there. My original farm, when I started this world over, this was my third world, main world that I ended up having started. The last two worlds were corrupted by trying to make large maps, and so since I already have my large wall map completed, I don't feel the need to fill out any big, large, the 4 zoom out maps. And so, there's a lot of open space to fill. There's the sugarcane farms, and having it nice and organized and done. Still building a different, using a ladder system where you can put small little elevators there. Big project. That was a lot of time and effort, because it's and so they're unified and carrying all the greenery through the different floors. And, so yeah, because that's where it come up, and then goes to the next floor. And you can, I still got labels some of these and all that there. Yeah, still the floors are here. Yeah, so for the different farms that I'm gonna have up here, so far the tree farms, all mods for the pumpkins and watermelon. Yeah, this one here is for the whoa, almost jumped down. It's for that. So, last number of days I've been organizing. And here for the storage, I just loosely kind of started throwing them into unload them from the other areas, and so these are not their final spot. Along here would be the materials that you can make other the stairs and slabs and stuff. Whereas on one part here, it's going to be blocks that you. Well, I mean, there's blocks that you can't really do something else with. But yeah, no, it's only loosely being organized. This here, tools and stuff. This here is oh, if I have, yeah, I do. This is all glass. And then yeah, I recently built the creeper farm, and look at these. And yeah, even in peaceful mode, that do a lot of building and that yeah, occasionally put it into to normal mode and all that stuff. But depending on, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. But as far as this, whew, the several years that I've been putting on this to have this look the way it does, you know, losing those two main worlds that I had, it feels devastating. But you get an extra or another opportunity to build start a new world and to bring it alive. And this year is going to be, I'm going to utilize the space as efficiently as I can, but I don't want it to just look, I want it to look nice and organized, and you know, there's just something about it. There's something about this. When I see the small little wooden houses and all that stuff, it just, I don't know, infuriates me. But and even trying to, for myself, try to get away from just a square, rectangular, flat. I mean, depending on what the build is asking for, I still want to have a uniqueness to each of the builds, so that the last build doesn't look the same as the build before. There might be similar attributes, the elevator system, or the way the floors spring out from a central spot and they don't touch the walls like this. Things that you have inside your build, whether it's fish aquariums or your swimming pools, your modern houses and that. But there's just something to some of these big builds, and then having a grand entrance. Like when I built this, I ended up completing this first, but then I had to make a huge correction, and the back wall was out by one block, and I had to fix it all the way down to the to where the water is, and so I need to still get more of the light sources in here because it's pretty dark, and underneath there, up above where it's dark, on under there I'm going to have other lights too, but for down here I'll have these on the sides, but might even think of some kind of archway with lights or something that could go above here and then down that way. Oh yeah, even maybe with the glowstone. But I put a lot of work into filling up this back space here. I mean, I'm not even sure how many hours and all that stuff, but for this build, and I started building it, then I made some corrections, got to about this spot here, this much and everything. Didn't give up on it, just mainly and then I even did this thing here where I was going to make a smaller little build, like a hut type of jungle hut thing or something, but didn't really do anything yet. And then it's like, maybe and then I thought about the occasionally or something, or building something with the uh, diorite, but also the occasionally, which was polished diorite. And then I started building it, and then just went hard on it. And since I already knew how it was going to be built, it was easy, uh, just time consuming. And the glass, the smelting with my mega furnace thing. But I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to have here. But I might pick up all the thing and give a different stone. But this was, I don't have a card on it, but yep, basically a little rail thing to get over to here. But I wonder if I should even. No, it's just. But now where was any of the tree farm things over there? Yeah. There's the tree farm. Yeah, for each of the different floors, from back in the other older worlds, there I had like a tall art exhibit thing. I mean, I like to have. Well, I mean, you have the art paintings and stuff like that, and I had some other, just different things. But uh, for the design of, oh no, that was for not Sid Tower 3. Didn't get any of that stuff. But I completed the world, complete the build before the world got corrupted. But the other one that had the art thing was my Sid Tower 2. Yes. And then Sid Tower 3 was my first one like this. And it had lava elevators. Oh, I was just thinking of. Yeah, there's so much open space in there. The aquarium is really nice. I only got the two of those little things there, guys, in it. Ones that attack the fish and everything. You know, hours and hours put that glass in, but several years later, it's just, to see the build. Yeah, it's flat lines, and then even like go over this with the smooth quartz, time and effort and everything to get that. A lot of trading, and so the other one didn't have this. It was just obsidian. This one's capped in smooth quartz. We're going to go here before I jump off this. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll have to grow a bunch of this up in here. Or, the plan for the, I can't remember what it is. I'm not worried about it, but basically, I'm not sure how tall they can go to, so then for the floor right above it, or platform above it, that'll have something else growing. These, one of the other builds I had in the other world that I want to get is, or build, is the large stand blimp. That was in my second world. It wasn't too hard to build, and even easier the second time. Just knowing that I used the nether, the nether wart block. The red blocks of these, and the gold netherrack blocks, the shines. Yes, I think that was the first bubble column elevator I built was the one for the large salmon blimp platform, the docking station, and the blimp was at the top of it, and we had stairs going to the front doors of it. I do like this build here, the one from Pixel Rifts, but I do find that they're mini builds or whatever, but it's just the feel of going into the build to something more, I don't know, to go into, just, to click on each floor on the thing, it just, I don't know, I'd rather see you running up the stairs and stuff to, I don't know, just proportionate. But anyway, like, it almost feels like you're in a dollhouse or something. Let's go to it. And the only way I can counter that. is by having the water elevator. There's a bed. And I use different blocks like I go instead of the blocks he was using. But you know, it's like boom, right there. But I think the other thing there where you just click on it and it'll bring it like this is a small little spot. And I think I made mine taller too. Like taller or something. But anyway, like, no floors there. It's just, you know, a small little spot there. Now, I mean, I could take a spot, put a bed in there or whatever, so you could say, yeah, this is going forward. But really, it feels very, it doesn't feel very proportionate. Whereas I'm going to rebuild it, not this, but I'm going to rebuild one like this, but in proportionate sizes that you could actually have floors and maybe 4 units on each side with a stairwell thing in the middle and not the other water coming here. Or even have it so that, yeah, bubble column elevator to each floor with a drop chute. And each floor could have 3 or 4 rooms. And this here is more like, you know, I really like this too. I mean, this has been like several years building this. The whole point, this was to be like kind of like a modern. I changed the door stuff right there, but have this cool glass. Wall. Yeah, it could even go over there. The fireplace. And then these ones here were more castle type of solid structure thing going for. And this here is the fireplace yet, so they won't hurt themselves. And this was like a little dip-in type thing that they were for the workstation. And over here is supposed to be something like street. Right there. Oh yeah, so it's like that. But yeah, this it looks decent, but it feels so small. To be fair, maybe I'll build the. No, I don't want to do it here because I like this and clean this up, make it a lot nicer looking. This is going to be right over here. Okay, what is the? Let's say 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, because there's the 15. Okay. I'm going to go 30 by 30. 30 by 30. I just need something for 30 by 30. So. This year was just a random little art thing to just yeah, I think this is cool too. Prevent those from growing. So it's almost like under pressure. Alright, 30 by 30. You know, let's use some of these ones out. We can do that.
sell it a little bit differently, but that gives them an opportunity to test different things. And so we're having these kind of things forced on us, and watching what's happening in the UK is kind of analogous, but it's like it's like a different song on the same album. You're like, oh, this is from that Dreams album, or whatever, Fleetwood Mac, right? It's definitely from that era, right? For sure. This is definitely not the other era of that band, right? It sounds the same, but it's just a little bit different. So I think that's what's going on. So that's why I focus so much on the United Kingdom. And indeed Australia and other Western places, because what's happening here is definitely happening there, and that's super weird because that didn't used to be the case. Like Canadian news used to be Canadian news, and American news and UK news was very different because they had different things, different priorities, so on and so forth. And now it's all amalgamated and it's all the same. That's notable because it's not how it used to be. Lucy Connolly has her first interview, and I'm excited to show it to you. She's going after Starmer, and she's not shrinking away from any of this. So that's interesting. I thought maybe she would just go away and say, leave me alone. I don't want to, go back to jail or anything like that. And so instead, she's giving interviews, and I've got a clip of the interview, and it's fiery. It's pretty good. Danielle Smith is offering the COVID shot for money. What? This is not a better outcome, so we'll talk about that later in the show. And Zelensky is not really interested in peace. We'll talk about war and peace process again later in the show.
I just want to get more dirt to throw into this. I don't want to mark it that.
Later in the show. Well, when that comes up again, we'll look at it. But lots to get to. Let's get to it. First, the food professor is talking about Mark Carney. The Globe and Mail just published what I see as one of the most honest, balanced assessments of Carney's first 100 days as Prime Minister since his April election win. Spoiler, it's not flattering. He hasn't accomplished anything. It's not flattering. He's right. And so I don't have access to the Globe and Mail because I refuse to give them money because they're ridiculous. But it's paywalled, so yeah, we all know that he hasn't accomplished anything. There's no talk of setting up bureaucracies, but really hasn't done anything at all of substance. So we've all been kind of led down the hard path. He's tried to govern with autocratic pen, but it doesn't really work. It's hard buying it, and most people are kind of laughing at it. Welcome to Canuckistani says, Marcus Carney reversed his campaign promise of retaliatory tariffs, $20 billion in proceeds. He has been on 2 vacations, and the House of Commons has only sat briefly since June and won't sit for another month. He has stated Canada supports Palestine as a state. He has revealed hundreds of conflicts of interest. He reads edicts from teleprompters like he's a dictator who has a majority government. He is snubbed by world leaders, meeting at the White House where he is replaced by a houseplant. What has Mark Carney accomplished? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I think that I had Pierre Polyev talking about things that I think I've moved around, and we're frustrating. So apologies about that. When it comes up, I'll play with Pierre clip I have because he's talking about how much of a failure Mark Carney is as well. Sorry that I don't have it.
I'm watching Canada Polyev. Mark for all of us.
Here's Terry. Says, what is it exactly at stake? Global News is reporting. Carney heads to Berlin for high-stakes talks with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. And Terry says, what is exactly at stake? It says that like Germany can replace America as a trading partner. So what precisely is at stake? Like, what? What's the big secret here? Oh yeah, high stakes. Oh, super high stakes. We're gonna build an aircraft together. But we're buying subs together. Okay, sure. I don't believe you. I don't believe the same blocks. Really? So, yeah, I agree.
As far as much as
Mark Carney is heading to Germany because Brookfield expands its operations in Germany with the new Frankfurt office. So that's.
And then I don't expect the world to be large.
Coincidence, right? Isn't that where new Frankfurt office? High stake talks.
They tried to
the Chancellor of Germany and Mark Carney will just happen to be in Germany when Brookfield is opening its office. Maybe they'll make a pit stop, but it's just to see other workers who East Coast sometimes, right? Come on. It's not like the apparatus in the state of Canada is being used to enrich its prime minister or something like that. That's crazy talk, right? Keepers, creepers. Sam Cooper says, if you missed it, this is trade. This is tangentially connected to trade. And the reason it's kind of connected to trade is because one of the chief complaints of Donald Trump is that Canada is not actually working in good faith to end the fentanyl flow. We're just kind of putting on a show. And fentanyl czar? Can you name the fentanyl czar? Because I can't. I have no idea who he is. I haven't seen him since he had those photo ops in front of those helicopters that we rented from the United States. So it seems like he's not doing much. And how much is he getting paid? Probably quite a lot, right? Does he go into the office? Probably. Is he doing anything? I doubt it. Who knows? I doubt it. I haven't seen any evidence. Sam Cooper says if you missed this, the story is essential to understanding relations between Ottawa and Washington. Inside the Falklands Superlab, how RCMP refusal to cooperate with the EDA fueled a cross-border tariff crisis. Yeah, we're not cooperating with Trump or the United States to stop any of this. And in fact, I think we're probably going easy on these criminals while turning a blind eye to the distribution through trucking and a whole bunch of other stuff. And like this war that's going on, where truckers are pulling UEs and killing people, I've seen a whole bunch of truckers pulling unsafe maneuvers in the last couple of days. Truckers going the wrong way on 403, going westbound on eastbound lanes, all sorts of crazy stuff. And so maybe these things are related and we're not supposed to notice. It's like a cartel war that, you get caught in the crossfire and you're just collateral damage. Sorry about that, right? Like it seems like there's more going on here because Ontario roads have never been less safe yet, and it's crazy and it's getting worse, right? So I'm not sure, but there seems to be something going on with all that. And trade-wise, it doesn't get us in a good position when it looks like we're not behaving in good faith, and it doesn't look like we're behaving in good faith at all. And so that's weird. Here's ER Doc, and this is a grab bag of invasion. And I think that this is, again, the reason that we're focusing on this and spending time on this is because I think all what's happening is lockstep. It's the same kind of stuff that was happening during COVID. Everybody in the world is behaving on one sheet of music. They're all playing the same notes, and that's coordinated. Like, if you recognize patterns, you know that doesn't usually happen like that. And so people are waking up. And here's an example from Canada to start. ER Doc says, you want to know what working in the ER in Canada is like? In the last few weeks, I had to resuscitate a nearly 100-year-old with no insurance from a different country because the family wanted a full code. The foreign elder used your tax dollars and a sacred ICU bed. They survived the arrest by some miracle and will be taking up a medical bed until discharge. The hospital and doctors who treated the patient will not see a dime of the money it takes to keep them alive. I have seen foreign students with a plethora of different medical problems, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, mental health problems. I cannot pronounce more than half of the patients in the waiting room's names, not to mention the expectation and entitlement that comes with these visitors. In many countries in Africa, for example, people go to the hospital with a long list of medical ailments, and they expect the doctor to figure it out that day. Some cultures want antibiotics for every little thing. Some want only a female doctor or nurse. Some will not see a female doctor or nurse. If you can't provide this, they will complain. They don't forget the birth tourism.
Yep, don't even want to go into the whole.
So they can head on over to the USA next. A friend in public health also made me aware of the sexually transmitted diseases that are rampant in one of the our most common populations now, using your tax dollars to treat syphilis because they can't keep it in their pants. So, yikes, right? That paints a terrible picture. That's pretty awful, if you ask me, right? And so we're in a bad way. Here's worse countries that are worse off than Canada. Wall Street Ape says a couple decide to go on a romantic walk under the Eiffel Tower. It's been transformed into a third world street vendor hell of illegals all selling their stolen goods. The camera pans, and this really is right under the Eiffel Tower. Insane, right? So here's the walk. YouTube is going to ding me for music. It's ridiculous. And they wait 3 days and they demonetize the whole thing. Oh well. But underneath the Eiffel Tower, right? Yes. Paris, right? Beautiful Paris. Unfortunately, it's all been taken over by street vendors. Somebody said, Drilla the Gorilla said, why is this happening? It's McDonald's from our youth with the play place and the recognizable roof shape, etc. And that's been turned into a modern-looking square block building. Pizza Hut, same things happened, right? Cracker Barrel, just yesterday, right? And Taco Bell, same thing, right? So welcome to the new Taco Bell. It looks like all of the other fast food restaurants that are cookie cutter and you are ubiquitous. And again, this gets us one step closer to demolition man, because there's not much difference between the McDonald's and the Cracker Barrel and the Taco Bell and the Cracker Barrel, right? So, are we going to Taco Bell? Or was it Pizza Hut in England because they didn't have Taco Bell? So pretty wild stuff. Here is a UK guy, and he's going through the migrant hotels, and he says this is a former nursing home, now it's a migrant hotel, and he just does a walkthrough of the hotel, and this has kind of become popular in the United Kingdom to do walkthroughs and see how much what food looks like and how many people are there, how many kids are there. Adam says the video of the pathetic man in the Arsenal shirt attempting to rip down England flags and Union Jack flags off of lampposts is an eye-opener. These lefty morons actually believe that this is a far-right movement. No, you wallies. This is about standing up to a clear danger. So people, and like Adam is on television, he's often asked to go on BBC and other places to present, and so he's a person who you wouldn't necessarily expect to stand up so strongly for these campaigns, and he's calling this a clear danger, and that's something different. That's something new, right? England is really, there's something happening there. This is my prediction for this. This is a place in, I'm not sure which state, but this was full of one population, and they're all gone. My prediction is that Trump's going in and removing the illegals, and he's going to house veterans in these places. He's going to hire veterans to clean them up, and then he's going to give them to the veterans who clean them up. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my prediction on this one. We'll see. This is a guy talking about the ICE raids that took everyone away. There's no cars, there's no people living here anymore. Everybody's gotten detained, and they're being deported. So says this guy. Here we go.
Chat, it's crazy as hell, man. Y'all see that video I just posted? There's literally no cars, no people in residence here anymore. ICE was here yesterday and got everybody out. Look at the windows. They got them all up. They got everybody out of here, chat. This was a full Hispanic community. Every person that lived in these houses were of Hispanic descent, and they are not here anymore. That is so crazy, man.
There you go. So that's what I think. I think Trump is going to move to do that, and we'll see. On the flip side, Australia is going to absolutely 100% take your bedroom and give it to an illegal, and if you don't let that happen, they will tax you for it. How dare you keep your bedroom for your family only? Andrea says, don't be surprised if this comes to Canada. They asked about bedrooms on the last census. Thanks. Yeah. Shadow of Ezra says, experts in Australia are pushing for a new tax on spare bedrooms as a solution to the nation's deepening housing problem. Here's this news broadcast.
Match between the average size of households and the average size of a home is prompting experts to propose a tax on spare bedrooms. New research from Cotality revealed a third of Australian households is made up of just 2 people, while the most common property is 3 bedrooms. It suggested that a levy, along with the removal of stamp duty, may encourage shrinking families and empty nesters to downsize, freeing up supply.
Yes, right. We'll charge you for your home that you've paid off, freeing up supply for those illegals that we want to import to replace you, because your children couldn't possibly want that house. Here is the scene in Dr. Zhivago, and again, I'm streaming on YouTube, and I didn't realize that this was going to be the case, but he's returning home, and he gets home, and I think that he thinks that this is all his house, like this is just from, this is his house. And then there's a whole bunch of people in the house, and he's like, "Oh man, what's going on here?" And then he has to give his papers over to this guy, and the guy looks over the papers, and he's like, "Oh well, I don't know about this." And then they say, "Oh no, this is all legit." And he walks upstairs, and they say, "Sir, this house could house 13 families in this space." And he says, "Oh yeah, well, this is a much better setup, comrade, much more just." And I was like, "Wow. We're doing this again? Why are we running headline into this again? It's not like we didn't make media to remind us how bad this was, right? And now, oh man, comrade, that house looks like we could house 13 families there, easy, right? Like, pretty wild stuff. Here's Michael O'Keefe, and He says, massive scandal unfolding in Ireland. 7 of the top 10 highest paid companies responsible for looking after vulnerable kids are operated by African or Muslim migrants. Below are the top 10 private companies paid the most by the Irish government to house vulnerable children. One, it's Bia and Mirza Health Services, and that's Mohammed Usman Beg and Farhan Mirza, both foreign. Comet Care Limited is Irish, and Miss Bay Limited is no info. Victoria Healthcare Limited origin is foreign owned, and Region Healthcare is foreign owned, and Good People Home Care Limited is foreign owned. And he says today it was revealed that they used fake Garda vetting to hire untrained migrant staff. Interesting. Fake police background checks, things like that. Ideal Care Services is foreign owned, and it's a convicted fraudster. So a lot of times, this happened in Canada too. There was a lady who was running a children's, like at-risk children, autistic children, nonverbal children home, where you drop the kids off. I think it was a daycare or something like that. But her partner, who didn't live with her but slept there, was a convicted child predator, but she didn't disclose that to anybody. And then something happened with one of the kids, and then it all came out. And like this stuff happens way more than you think. It's people who understand the system and can convince people to get grants and things like that. Oftentimes can get a lot of money from the government. Can be very underhanded in their practical application, and the government doesn't have very good oversight often. Right? Ministry would come and tour the facility I worked at once a year, and it would last a week and a half, and they look at all the people and all the rest of that. And so I think it would be hard to fake ministry accreditation and things like that. But at the same time, you don't need ministry accreditation to operate a daycare. Right? And there are places that you don't need ministry accreditation to access government funds too. So it's such a gray area, and people who know how to see that system access money after the children, and then they're off to the races. We've got a very quick grab bag of governance today. CTV News says they're going to be a bit shocked after they pay for it themselves. Danielle Smith defends charging for COVID-19 vaccines. I don't think the COVID-19 vaccines should be on the market. Like, they give people myocarditis, right? Is that not the case? I thought that was the case. I thought that was widely known now, and people were like, oh man, there's this whole thing that happens, and we're aware of this. And no, is that not the case? And so I don't understand why it's even the option to have in the first place. What? Why is... And people are going to celebrate this. Like, yeah, let the idiots pay for it themselves if they want it, blah, 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 blah. But not everybody has to pay for it. If your doctor says you need it, then you'll get it. And isn't there an incentive system set up for the doctors to say most people need it? Isn't there an incentive system to say, yes, COVID boosters are good, yes, you should get them every year, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? Like, isn't that what the incentive system is set up to reinforce? So, it's really...
Yeah, this build here, I think it's going to look early.
Why are we not responding to the harm these things are doing? I don't understand it. It's a very strange thing. And people are going to celebrate this. I don't think it's anything to celebrate. I think that we're being bamboozled again, unfortunately. David says, and he's got 42,000 followers. He's a polling guy, I think. And he says unemployment among young men reached 22.1% this May, the highest level in over a decade, and its political impact could be significant. Young men already lean more conservative, and worsening job prospects risk deepening their frustration with the status quo and fueling support for Pierre Poilievre's promise of disruption. Oh no. Is Pierre Poilievre really seen as a disruptor by anybody? For the Carney government, this presents a major challenge, appearing out of touch with a generation that feels excluded from work, housing, and stability. Unless the Liberals can demonstrate credible solutions to create pathways to full-time jobs, they risk ceding an entire demographic to the Conservatives in future elections. That would be a huge change from what Trudeau achieved among young Canadians in 2015. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But I think it's interesting that the unemployment rate is around 22% for young men in Canada. That is going to have an impact. Like, that's going to be a measurable impact if that's true. And so I think that it's interesting, and we'll see. And why is that tolerable? Why is that something that is ignored? There are ensure all sorts of people across different backgrounds are hired, blah, 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 and then exclude almost predominantly white men, right? And so that demographic is not able to find work, and people are just kind of papering over it like they deserved it or something like that. That's a weird situation to be in as well. Very, very odd. Here is, we'll do crime and then we'll shut off the stream. If I can do it quick, here is the Standard is reporting Niagara region. A woman was set on fire in St. Catharines while she slept, according to police. Niagara Regional Police have made 2 arrests and are looking for a 3rd suspect wanted for attempted murder. Set on fire. Wow. We need castle laws, says Mario. And yeah, what a horrific thing to happen. Donald Best is responding to the CCFR, and the CCFR is frustrated with Pierre Poilievre. And they say Conservative leader Poilievre has asked if Canada needs a castle law. The law needs to be clear that if someone comes into your house uninvited to steal your property or harm your family, you need to be able to do whatever is necessary to stop them. Yeah, I think that's...
No, just call the police! Guys, just call the police.
Pierre Poilievre can't even say the words castle doctrine. Yeah, right. Instead, we get another mealy-mouthed line. If someone comes into your house, you need to be able to do whatever is necessary to stop them. So he's saying he doesn't go far enough. Canadians want a clear castle law. Pierre Poilievre refuses to introduce such legislation, which he could do easily. This is the continuation of 10 years of conservative non-opposition. No wonder they can't win an election. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We are in a situation where he's right? Like, Poilievre is not going to introduce something. If he does introduce it, it won't be passed. But he's not even going to try to introduce something that would address this issue. And it is an issue. The guy who was protecting himself and stabbed the intruder who was armed with a knife is charged. And that's not good. Is he getting bail? Is he out of bail? Was he taken in? Like, was he actually arrested? Can you imagine somebody breaks into your house, you stave him off, and you're up, and you've got his blood on your knife, and you're like, man, this is going to be a wild story for tomorrow when I'm definitely home and not in jail, right? And then they take you to jail, and you're like, well, I'm not getting much more sleep tonight. Like, this is not what I expected when I went to bed last night. And then you have to call your employer maybe and say, yeah, I'm in jail. You'll never guess what happened. No, I didn't do anything crazy. I got broken into, and now they arrested me because I stabbed the MFer with a knife.
Yeah.
My gosh, here's a meme.
Welcome
that
to Canada.
What I'm talking about. There's a man with a ski mask over his face, and he's all dressed in black. And he's got a crowbar, so he's the criminal, supposedly. And the homeowner is there, and he's got tea and cookies and everything on a tray. And he says, "Careful now, if I don't offer you refreshments, I might be the one who gets charged." Right? Government safety guidelines in the background. 1, smile politely. 2, offer tea and cookies. 3, call a lawyer if you survive. Call a lawyer. Call a government-approved lawyer, for sure. Absolutely. Vancouver police, this is another wild story. Vancouver police are requesting the public's help to locate 43-year-old Omid Bashini and 40-year-old Amir Navrichi, both wanted on Canada-wide warrants in connection with a large-scale drug trafficking investigation. Project Torque began in November 21, focusing on kilogram-level drug trafficking operation that was based in Vancouver and operating both domestically and internationally. So that's been operating for a while. That's a long time. Following a 3-year-long investigation, 6 people, including Bashini and Navrichi, were arrested and charged. Investigators seized more than 200 kilograms of hard drugs valued at approximately $16 million, along with seven firearms and $500,000 in cash and jewelry. All 6 suspects were released pending an ongoing investigation. Right? Like, oh man, when were they arrested? Over the course of the 3 years, when were they arrested? All of them were arrested, and now they were released, and now they want to arrest the main ones. In June 24, BC Prosecution Services approved charges, and 4 of the 6 suspects have been located and arrested. Both Bashini and Navrichi are still, I'm sorry, I'm getting an external wrong, are still at large and are facing the following charges. And it doesn't really matter, but the point is, they have them in custody, and then they're like, all right, we're going to let you out when we investigate, but you better stay around here. You better stay here, okay? And holy shock of shocks, these people left.
Yep.
Oh my God, I can't believe that they do this to us. Right? Like the criminal justice system.
I'm going to take a moment to run these over.
The joke's on us.
I'm going to use compost
them. I've got to say goodbye to the stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want the whole show, I'm going to continue. I've got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes left.
Did you know that Bitcoin surged 125% last year? If you want to join the party but think it's too complicated, make it easier with Kraken. Buy over 275
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want the whole show, I'm going to
But instead, what you get is these adults wearing pants and trousers. Only about 37% of Disney households with kids versus grown-ups without children choosing to love the Disney like a past. Disney's obviously noticed that this was happening with its parks. Now there's alimony options with people riding spacecrafts. There's an unprecedented 110 plus venues across the parks and the other, and even off-market list. Because what Disney figured out that's kind of genius is how to trigger the stuff in its brains. It unswitched incentive to mainstreams. Vanilla baked goods mixture that's been tested to trigger memory. The cast from other decor is painted in neutral shades and underwritten research for nostalgia. The employees can do this incredibly well. They have learned to never break character, to always maintain this continuous, but outside
Yeah, I also think for different areas along my large wall map for the locations, I'm going to have bubble columns for quick way to hide for using my electro. I mean, I like to have the power now to go into different builds. So you have the hands free. I still gotta put stuff in here and stuff too.
Ouch!
Oh, yeah. Do something for it. More iron blocks. Although instead of iron blocks, I could use the traps, the flat ones. That's what I'll do. I meant to be building that too last long time, but I'm gonna get some stone blocks or stone brick. Have enough. I believe that should be enough. Oh, so 30 by 30. Maybe instead of just the one door on each side, whatever. We'll have maybe 2 or 3 entrances. Yeah, these I still have stuff for these. They've been empty right now, but they still have characters in this size. And that's that big 256 height. The rest of these are all that build height. And this one's going to be packed for each of the floors. The amount of crop density without it looking overstuffed. It's going to be nice and organized looking. This is going to have a bunch of art type of stuff in it, different walkways with the walls and glass. Something will be built here. It won't go to build height. Maybe I'll build a giant temple type of structure. And here's this one here, and then jurisdiction. Yeah. I mean, for now, this is just to have the platform. So I said to remember, but put some other flooring above it, with the blocks and walls and stuff. Some of these will be replaced with other blocks as I do this right now. It's a temporary provide the ones to blocks and put carpet over dirt or things. But anyway. And so I like the walls and stuff sandstone. Try to decide as to how tall it's going to be. I don't want to build it to build height. I want it to be small. Or maybe make it twice its height. See what the height is. And make it twice that. Yeah, for sure. Definitely have more than enough. That's good. Should I? Okay, yeah, it's gold, sandstone, 2 or so very, 2 or 3 very, 2 sandstone. There you go. So, all right. Yeah. Just definitely had more than enough. Take everything. really yeah, I'm not there on my card. I mean, building the infrastructure is pretty cool, but also, you know, utilizing it. I don't want to. I have the creeper farm, but I don't want to just utilize, or I don't want to just always be using my electric flowing back and forth. And even I'd like to be able to have different color cards, mine cards, and yeah, maybe I want a Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari. But if you could paint them red or paint them yellow, paint them blue, different color road cards, because this is the hands-free. I can look up ahead. So it's not as fast as my turbo. Meant to feel like you're cruising. I find my pretty good. And this year when I filled that all up, filled up all the base of it, all the dirt and stone blocks and anything to fill fill up the. And instead of just pushing through the button. Because, yeah, I meant to build that up higher. It's been here a long time ago. Never bothered. We're busy with everything. The amount of time it took to get the lapis lazuli for that was incredible. Oh, sorry. Oh, meant to. I need those smooth stone blocks. This is one of those that took time to build. Let's go back. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I can make yeah, so yeah, kind of blocks and stuff that it was. Yeah. The other ones, not just the smooth stone and that, but there as well. There, that much for that. Okay. I'm gonna need a lot of sandstone, and especially if, which is not too hard to get. It's pretty easy for me to get that. I take a lot of the sand from the desert, and I have a bubble column built, already built, so I can go back and forth. Plus the power rail goes there too. So I have a middle door. Well, it's two doors, but one different spots. All right. Let's take a look at this for a second. Oh, the stairs are over the stairs. So, three, but maybe make them twice as wide.